So let's try to break the game even more. In a previous video, we went over the Super Bowl cards and how to make a very, very glitchy lineup adjustment to make it so that you can pretty much see your opponent's play art for the entirety of the game. Now, the only problem with this is you needed an LTD card to make that happen. Now, in this video, we're going to make it so that you guys are going to get D-line pressure all day long if you follow the steps that I take in this video. Now, before I get into it, if you guys are new to the channel, do not forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, comment down below, and hit that noti bell so you guys never miss an upload. And if you guys got nothing to say, just comment FTA. Stands for the algorithm and helps push these videos to more and more people. Also, shameless plug, buy the ebook. The defensive ebook is always going to be one of the best in my opinion. 3-4 odd is an amazing defense, and I think a lot of people should learn how to run it the way that I do. So buy the ebook. It is down in the description. Also, if you want a quick hitting offensive ebook out of Pistol Bunch Tight End, that is also down in the description below. Now, let's get a little glitchy. Now, previously in the year, EA dropped cards in a different promo called Unstoppable promo. And in this promo, the highest overall cards are 92 overalls. And these are pretty much going to be the only ones that you really care to look at, except for maybe this Derrick Henry. Now, there's a reasoning for that. So, if you go ahead and utilize your selfless ability on the Super Bowl cards, and let me go ahead and find you one, and you don't need Mean Joe Green for this. He is way too expensive. You can simply accomplish this with Ray Nitschke. So if you click on Ray Nitschke, you go on his X Factors. He has an X Factor that is called Selfless. And what Selfless does, it on-field teammates enter the zone. So with this being the case, if you have Ray Nitschke, who's only a 600K card, you can go ahead and purchase the Unstoppable Program cards. Now, the Unstoppable Program cards are a little bit special. And the reason why these cards are as special as they are is because their X Factors and their abilities are simply centered around being unstoppable. So this is the unstoppable force instead of being this normal unstoppable force. Now, the difference between these is this stays on for the entirety of the game. This is a free 0 AP X Factor that if you get it equipped and you get it to turn on, it stays on for the entirety of the game. Well, TJ Watt also has something that's very similar. Unstoppable Force is one of the best X Factors that you can have activated because it pretty much allows you to get a lot of block shed. Same thing with Unstoppable Dual Threat. Now you can get Unstoppable Avalanche, Unstoppable Double or Nothing. Anything that says unstoppable in it, you're pretty much going to want to equip it on your team. So what I currently have in my lineup is TJ Watt and Trey Hendrickson. And then we're going to add one other person in this game that's going to allow for you guys to have a lot of disruption on the D-line. And that is going to be DeMarcus Ware. So DeMarcus Ware gets an X Factor ability. He gets it as an ability, excuse me. And if you get the acquired items, you need an 82, 85 overall, an 89 overall, and a 92 overall DeMarcus Ware. It is a little bit pricey, but he ends up getting Unstoppable Force as an ability. Not an X Factor, just as an ability. So if you look at my current D-line right now, you'll understand that I'm trying to get as toxic as possible. And I'm trying to make it so that I can play as toxic as possible. So right now, I currently have DeMarcus Ware, Trey Hendrickson, and TJ Watt. So as soon as the game starts, these guys are all activated with Unstoppable Force or some variation of it, which is Dual Threat. Dual Threat is very good in stopping runs and passes. So you pretty much have instant block sheds with, you get instant block sheds, plus you're able to, stop people who are running the ball. And this is going to work out of any 3 down lineman set. So you're pretty much sending 3 people all game while having top tier coverage behind it. So yes, you can do this in 3-4, you can do this in dime, you can do this in any coverage that you guys want, and you're going to get pressure without needing to send any blitzes by doing this method. And all you need is Ray Nitschke and then these unstoppable cards and DeMarcus Ware. This is probably one of the glitchiest things that you guys can do currently on defense because you can also add it to the offense. Now, there is a lineup adjustment that you guys can do. Now, if you guys notice, I have TJ Watt back here. I have Trey Hendrickson here. and I have Ray Nitschke at my middle linebacker 2. Now, if you go into your lineup and change your players into the same spots that I have mine, so currently your strong safety number 2, your free safety number 2, your cornerback 3, your cornerback 4, your fullback 1, your fullback 2, your tight end 1 and 2. These guys are all going to make it into your lineup. As you can see, Darnell Washington is actually my number 1 tight end, but I have him as my number 2, and Dontari Poe is my fullback. And then I have Jamal Lewis here, who's immediately going to be started. Now, this is not just a defensive video. This is an offensive video as well. Now, on the kickoff, if you set your lineup up the same way that I have mine, now you really can't do it with a lot of the receivers. There is a way to do it. I have the picture, and I believe the only wide receivers that can get it are wide receiver 5. So if you have a wide receiver that you want to be in the lineup included on the kickoff, at least, if you're kicking the ball off, your wide receiver 5 ends up in the lineup. Okay, so tight end 2, tight end 2, fullback 1, fullback 2, if you guys want to equip whatever X factor on your running back. But having your middle linebacker at middle linebacker 2 means that he will be activated on the kickoff on offense and defense, which will make all of these X factors, it will make them all active as soon as the game starts. So whether you're on offense or defense, like currently right now, I have Vanguard on Dontari Poe, I have Vanguard on Darnell Washington, and I have Freight Train on Jamal Lewis. Now, if you went ahead and you bought that Derrick Henry that I mentioned earlier, Derrick Henry will be able to have unstoppable force for the entire game. Excuse me, not unstoppable force, Freight Train for the entire game. Jamal Lewis, if you stop him, it will get rid of it. But those two guys, that guy, Derrick Henry, he's a little bit slower, but if you're looking to punch it in the end zone with an X factor that you typically don't use, that's going to be the guy to buy to make sure that you can use this to the best of your ability. But if you keep your guys in the same position, say you want a tight end with it, put him at tight end 2. Say you want a fullback with it, if you want your running back to have his X factor activated, put him at fullback 1. If you want your linemen to have it, put them at outside linebacker number 2. It doesn't matter whether it's left outside or right outside. And as soon as the game starts, as long as you have this Ray Nitschke with Selfless activated at middle linebacker 2, it will activate all of these guys to be starting with their X factors for the entire game. And if you add it just like I have it with DeMarcus Ware on the D line, you have 3 people that are going to make your opponent's life absolute hell. And that's exactly what we want. We want to make our opponents suffer as much as we possibly can, and this is probably one of the cheesiest ways to do it. Now, there are different combinations that you guys can do. Unstoppable force all the way up to universal coverage. Like you can have universal coverage on multiple players. But unfortunately, the unstoppable universal coverage doesn't necessarily get equipped with a lot of these guys, so it just makes it a little bit difficult to keep that running. This right here, this setup here, stays on active all game long. So it's pretty much a living hell for your opponent, and you're going to get a lot of easy wins if you do it just like I told you. My name is Pwny. Hopefully you guys appreciate this tip, man. I will see you guys in the next one. As always, 2 fingers, deuces, and peace out, you guys.